The morning of my father's second wedding, he brought me down to the basement of Baker Church in St. Charles, Illinois, and said, "Rachel, meet your new mother." She was in the corner in a satin dress pulling on her pantyhose, and I froze, and then I burst into tears. It wasn't really true that I met her that morning. I'd met her 2 months earlier at a revival held by my religious aunt and uncle. We had gone from our house in Pittsburgh, and now here I was in a new state, in a new school, religious evangelical school, with a new family and a new mom. I sobbed through the entire ceremony. In their wedding pictures, even now, 38 years later, my eyes are bloodshot, beet red. I guess ruining the photo album was small consolation for my life. My real mom had died 2 years earlier, and I didn't quite know how to grapple with the loss of that, but with this whole new mom, everything changed. The secular world disappeared from our lives. There was no more Partridge Family, no more V.C. Andrews, no more kickball with the Catholics and Jews in the cul-de-sac. And for me, the worst of all, there was no more music. It was like they tried to control our minds by controlling our every movement. After my mom died, I'd had this babysitter named Cherry, and Cherry was like a total music fanatic. She used to come over and turn on my clock radio, and we'd dance around to Foreigner and Styx and the Little River Band. It was Cherry who would set me straight when I would sing things like, "Crumbs that away, crumbs that away, crumbs that away with me, lad." Music made me feel less alone because I understood, even as a kid, that the best music, the music that spoke to me, was music that addressed how to live in the aftermath of loss. But in my new house, we lived in silence, virtual strangers. One day, my aunt and uncle came to us kids at their religious school and said they had a phone call from TV producers of a show called Bible Baffle. They had decided to have a kids' week, and we pupils of Faith Center Christian Academy were invited to audition. The show aired on the local Chicago religious station, and the adults who played won things like cruises to the Caribbean and trips to the Florida Keys. The day of the auditions, so few girls showed up that I made the cut simply because I was born female. The Sunday before the show aired, I was called up to the altar at church, and the congregation anointed me with prayer. In the morning, the day of the taping, one of my classmates styled my hair into one of those single tube-like curls around the circumference of your head. If you lived in 1980, you know what I'm talking about. Even if you're a boy, you know. I was sandwiched between a tall, curly-haired boy on one side and a short little dweeb on the other who's probably a venture capitalist today in Silicon Valley. The set itself of Bible Baffle was robin's egg blue and bubblegum pink, and I had this buzzer hidden behind my podium that was actually just a long, unsanded piece of wood. The host came over and shook our hands. He introduced himself. His hair was pubic in appearance. He said, "You're gonna have 3 rounds. You wanna hit that buzzer fast as you can. Go ahead, practice. Hit that buzzer, hit that buzzer." We were practicing, hitting our buzzers. I kept checking for splinters. If you won a round, you had to go and unscramble a Bible verse on a magnetized wall across the set. The camera started to roll. I was instantly nervous. My palms were sweaty. I thought, how have I arrived here? The before and after of my life. It wasn't just like new state, new school, new family, new home, new everything. It was also like this eternal orbit around God now that my life had. Church 3 times a week, daily devotions, an annual revival. Discipline in my house included things like washing our mouths out with soap and reading the Bible aloud for 20 minutes while bubbles formed around our teeth. My point here is this. I knew the fucking Bible. Yes, I did. I won the first round handedly, sauntered over to that board, done. The curly-haired boy won the second round. I won the third. I went for the grand prize, which was just a longer Bible verse that I had figured out before I'd even sauntered across the set. I waited to hear where I'd be off to. Martinique, St. Thomas, Bermuda. The velvet-voiced announcer said, "State-of-the-art stereo." No boat, no beach, no sun, no sand. Yeah, I had won a Panasonic dual cassette AM/FM stereo with turntable, quart synthesizer, and EQ. Whoop-de-doo. I moped all the way home. I moped as I carried that box in my bedroom. I moped as I opened the box. I moped until I saw that it included headphones. Headphones, so the people on the outside couldn't hear what was going on the inside. And unlike the TV or my clock radio, this beautiful baby could not be confiscated by my parents because it had come from God herself. If my win was the divine intervention that everyone in the church believed it to be, then we mere humans were stuck with the outcome, and some of us were going to be stuck a little more happily than the others. From the very first night I had that, I would sit on my orange shag carpet, leashed to the stereo, and whisper sing-along to the lyrics by Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, the Scorpions. Music still filled that loss in me, but now it also fueled my rage and isolation. The first album I bought was Tom Petty, Damn the Torpedoes. Oh, baby, you don't have to live like a refugee. I can't sing. Doesn't stop me from doing it, though. In time, I came to understand that I had won something much bigger than a hunk of metal and plastic. And when I grew up and booking local rock and roll bands helped pay for my first year of college, I understood that music was about more than just loss and innocence and rage for me. Music was freedom. Thank you.